Imagine you're absolutely certain about the answer. You hold the evidence right in your hands. But then a large group of people steps up, looks at the exact same problem, and insists on the opposite answer. Your brain immediately undergoes a sharp cognitive pivot. That comfortable feeling of certainty fractures into a quiet, nagging question. Wait, am I wrong? You haven't learned anything new about the problem itself, but when faced with overwhelming social disagreement, your brain treats the crowd's confidence as contradictory evidence, forcing you to doubt your own senses. Relying on others to make decisions is an effective evolutionary survival tool. We have to navigate the world constantly making choices with incomplete information. If you walk down a street and see 10 people independently choose the same restaurant over an empty one, treating their collective choice as valuable data is a rational shortcut. The flaw in this system is that the brain struggles to differentiate between a crowd that possesses actual tested knowledge and a crowd that is simply echoing its own voices. This diagram shows where the process diverges. The danger arises when useful social information mutates into blind social pressure. A 2026 EEG study measured how the brain responds to decision-making under varying levels of social influence and ambiguity. The researchers found that when the information presented to a subject is clear and easily verifiable, the brain resists the pressure of the crowd. This chart shows the contrast. The moment ambiguity is introduced to the information, the subject's rate of conformity spikes. Under the stress of ambiguity, the brain reallocates its attention. It begins to prioritize a different data point, group consensus. This introduces the danger of non-independent variables. Imagine the very first person in a group doesn't have any facts, but simply makes an uneducated, confident guess. This network model illustrates the cascade effect. Person 2 copies Person 1's guess. Person 3 sees 2 votes as evidence. Soon, a massive crowd appears unified. The cognitive trap here is specific. The human brain naturally mistakes loud volume and extreme confidence for actual accuracy. A massive, confident crowd can be entirely wrong if they are merely reflecting each other's blind guesses instead of pulling from independent facts. Our brains don't just count heads. According to 2026 studies on group identity, we evaluate the identity and expertise of who is speaking to gauge trustworthiness. The scale and architecture of the internet bypasses this natural evolutionary evaluation system. Social media creates a specific illusion. Seeing a post with 100,000 likes tricks the brain into feeling the weight of 100,000 independent pieces of evidence. Online popularity metrics prove mass engagement, but they are a dangerous proxy for accuracy, expertise, or independence. Social influence itself serves a purpose. The motives to seek truth, gather information, and feel a sense of belonging overlap in our daily lives. A common mistake when trying to escape peer pressure is falling into blind anti-conformity, rejecting the crowd simply because it is a crowd. If you automatically do the exact opposite of the majority every single time, the crowd is still dictating your decisions. Independent thinking requires a rigorous, active evaluation of how a group's consensus was actually formed. This checklist shows a cognitive filter to deploy the next time you find yourself surrounded by total agreement. Ask yourself, what actual evidence do I hold? What specific knowledge does this crowd possess that I lack? And are these opinions truly independent of one another? A selective mind recognizes when someone else holds valuable missing data and when they are simply repeating a hollow signal.